I'm good. Everything's recording.
All right, we're good. Bruh. First podcast going public.
Yeah, this will be the first one.
This will be the first one we're going to bring public. Yeah. So those who don't know, Devin Derrickson, casual technologist. Bringing up my own channel here soon. Solo podcast, so we're going to roll with that. Matt,
yeah.
How about you? What you got cooking in the kitchen?
So yeah. First of all, I want to welcome y'all to the podcast. We have no name yet.
Nothing.
No name. We have some running titles. We'll figure that out. Right now it's just the podcast with Devin and Matt.
That's it, man.
And we will work out all the details later. But my name is Matt Gisantana. I am a tech enthusiast, open, awesome, robotic. That's my little spill I put on social media, but that's really me. I love technology. I love all of it. I like Apple mostly, but I mess with a lot of different brands. But
so y'all just don't forget. Make sure you guys save and remember this podcast. It's our first official intro. We fucked it up, but let's keep it moving.
Yeah. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of the internet.
That's the beauty of it, right?
It's going to live forever.
It's going to live forever.
We'll get better. We'll get
better at it, man.
But yeah, Devin, man, I've known Devin for a long time, so we've wanted to do something like this for a very long time. So now we can chop it up on a bi-weekly basis or however often we decide to do this. But we have some of the best conversations on the planet over the phone.
Oh yeah.
If we could just kind of put some of that knowledge out there to you guys, whether it's professional advice or technology advice, financial advice, whatever. We've made a lot of mistakes, so we got a lot of lessons.
We got a lot to talk about,
man. So what do you want to talk about first, man?
So what was a recent conversation? Android versus iOS.
Yeah,
that was the most recent conversation.
Yeah, that's
I had to
always
cut that off because I wanted to just see.
That's always the topic, man.
Yeah, man.
Everybody's, everybody has their loyalty or their preference, right? People like what they like. That's what I'm starting to learn as I get older. People like what they like.
Yep.
What frustrates me is when people like what they like and they haven't tried something else.
Or refuse to try something else.
Or refuse to try something else.
Yeah. That's going to be your fanboy definition.
Yeah, I will agree.
That's pretty much it. You can't have fanboy and technologist in the same conversation.
Nah.
You can't do that.
I love tech way too much to just be like, nah, I'm never touching that.
Yeah.
I love cars too much to be like, I don't hate Ford, but I don't like Ford. I would never buy a Ford. However, I watch what they do.
Sure. Just to let y'all know, Apple. I call this dude Apple. Matt pre-ordered a Note 10, and I think he's going to drop a few Apple products to make that transition over.
Yo, I don't think y'all realize how scared I am to get back into the Android world. I was just telling Devin, like, if I could build my house, like all the technology that I have, everything that I like to use, think about it, like a tool. When I come home, I want this to happen. Okay, what can I buy that can work with my wife's iPhone, my kids' iPads, and my Note 10?
Right.
There doesn't seem to be like a foolproof ecosystem to build on your own unless you go all Android or all iOS.
That's true. And it's funny because I'm on the opposite side of it. We were talking about you making the transition to Android. I'm thinking about iOS,
right?
Because
we've always been like that.
Yeah,
we've always been you was on Windows Phone. I was like, yo, these Blackberries, son.
Yeah, and then we went Palm Pre, and then all over the place, bro, all over the place. But I'm kind of on the opposite end. I'm thinking about with work, I use a MacBook.
Right.
And I'm thinking about, well, I need to go ahead and just get an iPhone because that's the beginning, right?
Right.
And I've always wanted a smartwatch anyway, but there's been nothing consistent in the Android world.
No, there really isn't.
Fossil Gen 5, maybe. I want to see it. The Fossil Gen 5. And then my kids use iPads anyway. So
they gotta use iPads. That's like the simplest thing.
It's the simplest. Nothing in existence in terms of tablets are competing with even smartwatches competing with iOS. It's not happening.
Yeah, like tissues. Like somebody, you give somebody a tablet. I don't care who it is.
What kind of iPad is this?
They're like, oh, what, is this a new iPad? You're like,
what kind of iPad is this?
That's a Samsung Galaxy Tab, sir.
Yeah.
You're like,
there's other tablets out there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There's other tablets.
Yeah. It's hard to compete with, man. And
I bet you don't remember that Motorola Zoom. Remember that? The Motorola Zoom tablet.
Oh man, that was the first. I wouldn't say thin bezel. It was thinner than usual. Did we see that in CES? Was that CES we saw that?
It was around the 2010 time because I remember bringing it with me. It was something I pulled out. I feel like I need to go find that, find one on eBay so I can buy that. Those things. But yeah, like the last Android phone that I had was the Nexus 6P, and I don't know if you remember me talking about it, but I just didn't like it.
Why?
What got hot? Battery life was terrible.
I hear a lot about the battery life on that phone. I hear it's garbage.
The camera was not good. In comparison, I think at the time, I can't remember what iPhone I came from at the time, but I was used to a much faster camera response. And it was like little stuff, like the kids would be doing something and I would pull out my phone and I would try to load the camera and it would just take way too long to load up.
So the super dope camera didn't come into the Pixel 3. I thought the Pixel 2 had that same lens from Sony and they were doing the same thing.
I don't know. I know that the Pixel phones brought good photos to the Nexus, first party Android Google lineup. So that's what was so exciting about the Pixel. I mean, the first Pixel was dope, but it was like it did stupid stuff like didn't have wireless charging at the time. Wireless charging was picking up. I mean, the Nexus 4 had wireless charging.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't think about that.
They had that window in the back that was people were having issues with. Remember, it had that ugly window across the camera part where all the wireless antennas were. People were having issues with that, scratching or cracking or whatever.
Then they had that screen issue where I think it was a blue tint.
That was on the Pixel 2. No, Pixel 3.
At launch, and they patched it, I think, a few months later, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they came out with some color temperature settings or whatever.
Yep.
But the Pixel phones are good. It's just I see a lot of people with them. Like I see a lot of people who may not be too into Android. Like they probably had an iPhone.
Here's the thing: how could you not be into Android and own a Pixel? How does that conversation even happen? Right?
It's the way it's branded. Like I've seen the people that I've talked to that have it, they love it and they talk about it not as if it's Android. The same way,
just as a great general phone,
right? The same people who have a Samsung device who talk about it as if it's not really Android. They talk about it like a Samsung device.
It's Samsung.
Like right now, if you think of Android, you think of Samsung because that is like the premium, And I've said it the other day. It was like Apple started at the top with the luxury branding and just pricing and stuff like that, and they're slowly working their way down to where they're trying to get into like emerging markets and stuff like that.
Which is like the A series, right?
Right,
or like, not the A series, the XRs. Yep.
Yeah, but then you have the
Pixel.
Then you have Pixels coming in at like that mid range.
Yep.
And now they're starting to creep up to high end. But then you got Samsung that kind of started in a low end, and now they got $1,200 phones. The Note 10 Plus is $1,299. Well,
right.
If you get the 512, it's $1,399 or something like that. So you see, now they're working their way up, and they're going to sell, but not necessarily that great because that's the threshold. I think $1,000 is way too much for a phone.
Yeah, I've literally been enticed by like the Pixel 3As.
Yeah.
The more I look at them, I'm like, okay, I can understand. The battery's smaller.
Right.
Screen is going to be smaller.
Right.
I mean, there's no IP ratings.
Right.
I'm like, at this point, I'm not paying $1,000 for that stuff. If I can get a 3A for $600, case it and hope for the best.
If it was just photos, I think the Pixel 3A is probably the best camera you can buy for $299, $399 or something like that.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's cheap.
That honestly, if I put that phone into like some of my aunts or cousins' hands that are still using like an iPhone 6S, or maybe like an old Note 8, Note 7 or something like that. Whatever Note that didn't blow up. But they have like an older Android device, and they're looking to upgrade. And if you go to upgrade, you're paying a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
So you say, oh no. One of my coworkers was asking me about what phone he should get, and I was like, going through the options, and I showed him the Pixel 3a, and he saw that price, and he was like, what? And literally, I said, oh, well, it doesn't have waterproofing, and it doesn't have a wireless charger or anything, charging or anything like that. He was like, I don't know if I
keep bumping this microphone with this glass.
Yeah, I see.
Oh well.
But yeah, that's the. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just want to try something new. And like I said, I'm cutting the umbilical cord. I'm not gonna carry my iPhone with me, which means I don't really need my watch anymore. So I was like, I might sell my watch.
You end up in the boat I am, because I just sold everything of mine 2 years ago, and I'm like, I got to go back to Android. That's when I ended up with the LG G6. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, in all fairness though, you probably didn't get the best experience on Android with the G6. I mean, that was a good phone.
At the time, it was not bad.
I mean, it was a good phone, but I mean, like, I think what made that phone so great for you though was the value. It had a lot of value.
Oh yeah,
it had a lot of value, because I remember seeing it and I was just like, ooh, I could get that, and I was literally looking. I can get that in a Fossil smartwatch or something like that.
Yep.
I could not find an Android watch that was comparable to the Apple Watch at all.
No, even to this day, I mean, Wear OS is not ready for prime time. If you want notifications and a slow Google Assistant, that it works. It's slow. It works.
Slow assistant.
Then go get, yeah.
Can you imagine asking somebody a question and it's just like,
it's like, you know what? I'm taking you back. You're being returned.
You're like, hey, what's the weather? And you're like,
I gotta think about that one. Exactly. And if you want notifications, sure.
Then it was like, or they come back with the wrong answer. Yeah. Like Siri's terrible. One of the worst assistants out there.
And that goes back to what we talked about before. I mean, because Google, they are a data company, right? The only thing they care about at the end of the day is ads, right?
Right.
So they put an endpoint in your hand, whether that be a tablet, a phone, or whatever, just
Nest camera
to pull you into pulling that data, and that's what funnels Google Assistant. Siri, on the other hand, it's all.
Have you ever had that moment when you like right now where you know that about Google, but nobody had to tell you? You just start watching what they're doing, and you're like, wait a minute, why are Google Homes free?
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like the first 100,000 customers that walk into a Best Buy gets a free Google Home.
Did you just sneeze? Here you go. Here's your Google Home.
I remember opening up the flyer for like Black Friday like 2 years ago, I swear, and it was like free Google Home with the purchase of an Xbox 360, free Google Home with this. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, they're putting them in homes like everywhere. And then I think they started off at like $99, and then they slowly went down, because it got to the point where, like, I think now you get it for like $29. Mm-hmm. And they're very useful. Like, I have them in the kids' room, and honestly, I like it. I was telling you, I was like, why doesn't Apple make a HomePod Mini, or whatever they want to call it, affordable to try to get more data into their ecosystem and enter their machine learning and their artificial intelligence so that they can provide better results?
I think it's the type of data Apple's trying to gather. Apple can gather.
They can, yeah.
Because they're not like Google. They're not indexing the internet.
Okay.
Apple is indexing the data that you give them personally, but Google's able to index on the other side, which, again, being the internet. That's where they started. So it's a totally different type of data you're getting with Google.
So do you think that... So let's do some hypotheticals real quick. Fast forward 20 years from now, where do you see these bigger tech companies sitting, and what services would they be providing? Because I see where everybody's kind of going and what they're trying to do, and I'm trying to predict who's going to get bought out, who's going to pivot. I just, because I love business.
I'll tell you that Microsoft is going to stay in the enterprise. They're going to do their server 2016, 2018, 2020, 2020. They're going to continue doing that.
I can see that, yep.
I don't know where Apple's going.
Yeah. So you see they're doing a whole lot with health. They got a study they just started now to be able to detect dementia and Alzheimer's. They said they're starting to gather information on what data points to look at. They said if you text real slow or whatever, they started saying stuff, and I was like, I know a lot of people like that right now.
All Apple has to do.
So they focused on health. You know, this is not this one, but the Series 4
has the ECG and everything.
It's the first one. It's actually approved to be used as a EKG, ECG, whatever.
Apple's going to continue to be a very, very good intimate product. They're just going to keep. They're going to be a better shaving kit or a better deodorant. They're going to continue being that. That's what they are.
Yeah. And I don't know what they're doing with their car data. That all that navigational data that they're building, because they got all these cars. They got these self-driving cars going around. I don't know what they're doing with that.
That service.
I have my gut says they might buy Tesla. And Rivian might get bought out by Amazon. But
yeah,
I don't know.
They're all going to go after the same thing for them. I mean, excluding Mark. If we look at just the Google and Apple, they're going to go after the same type of services. It's just going to be a different audience. Yeah, basically, that's basically what it is. I mean,
yeah, because they all seem to be diversifying in the same places.
Yeah,
but you see them excelling in certain places and more quietly excelling in like other places. Like again, like the health stuff, Apple is really kind of outward about, and Google is probably quietly doing this data collecting and not really talking about it. Because like you said, like Apple kind of seems like a more intimate product. They have the health kit. You know, you can, even now with my doctors, I can actually sync up all of my stuff to the app, to my insurance, my major insurance, and get, you know, benefits and discounts and all that type of stuff. Samsung Health isn't doing that. Google Health isn't doing that.
Right. Yep.
You know, that's Apple. So
I think with Google, that may be too small of a bite for them, because they're more about, like, I think we talked about this before, relational data, where if I search for bars near me, right? If I search for bars near me, the results are going to be based on what's relevant to me. And relevancy could be, well, the last person that we think you know because of the data you put on the internet is Matthew. And the last bar Matthew went to was this one. So we're going to make sure that's priority in your search results. Because it seems like it's something that you may like. Apple just knows what you like. They don't care about Devin and Jonathan and Steve and whatever they're doing. Apple just cares about what Matthew's doing and what's relevant to him based on what he tells us, not based on anything that anybody else is doing.
So
I think that's the difference in how they handle data.
Yeah, and I can imagine that Google's AI is, you see what they're doing with their cameras. I've just accepted that too, especially with all the Google photos that I've uploaded. I just have my account and I do all mobile uploads for free. I'm just like, whatever, take it, analyze it, do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Because that's free cloud storage, because, you know, physical storage is becoming cumbersome. It's like if you want it everywhere, you got to put it on someone else's computer.
You know, the thing between Google and Apple, you need Google. Because I don't give a damn what device you're using. Everybody's using Google in some way. I mean, at the end of the day. So everybody's using Google. The majority of the world is using Google for some reason. So Apple's at the mercy of their hardware. And they're trying to make sure they can provide as many services as they can to stay afloat in the future. Google, on the other hand, is like, we're the only company right now that's, again, indexing the internet. It's like a utility. You have to use us.
That's a good point.
Apple, on the hand, you could throw away your laptop, iPhone, and watch, and you still got Google. You could throw away your Android phone, you still got Google. Throw away your Android tablet, you still got Google. Unless you throw your computer away.
I mean, if you do have an Android tablet, you heard it here first. Devin says to throw it away. Them things are trash.
They are trash. I'm hoping to see what the S6 will do, but it's all about applications, man, at the end of the day. It's all about applications. Because the OS is fine. Android is Android. It works. It's great. But when it comes to tablets, you don't have apps that fit the tablet use case.
Yeah. I'm just tired of the potential of Android. We always talk about the potential of Android. We never talk about like the good things about Android. We always say, oh, I can do this, I can do that. So it fits well for different people. But if someone says, I like Android for this particular reason, And I'm like, you can do that on Apple. And I tell them how I do it on Apple, and they're like, I gotta buy this other piece to do what you do. I can do it without it. Or I can buy a cheaper device. Or I can, so yeah, I can go, hey, whatever, and I can do all of these things and and I can do shortcuts and script it and if this, then that type of commands. And they're like, oh, I can do all of that with Android. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they show me what they're using, and I look at those products that they're using, and I go, sometimes they're legit products, like, you know, like Philips Hue. When I say legit, I mean name brand. You know, like Philips Hue, Samsung Smart Things, you know, LifeX, you know, those type of mainstream products. And then I see a lot of them using, you know, stuff from Amazon that's just this mom and pop, like, you know, like the security IP cams.
Right.
That are like real, you know, like $30, and
some you get from Walmart.
Some you get from Walmart. Like, those products make me nervous because I don't necessarily trust the company that made it. I don't know that there's not something installed on there that somebody is sitting there monitoring all those cameras. I don't know that.
It's true.
You deal with like a Philips Hue or a Samsung or a Nest, or before they got bought by Google. You deal with companies like that, they're held a little bit more accountable. Not a little bit. They're held more accountable for privacy because, you know, they have more customers, they have more money, all that type of stuff. Yep. And so it's just weird because you hear stories all the time of even those brands like Ring and all those different smart home security stuff. You hear stuff about them all the time where employees were abusing their powers, or someone sold an old product and they didn't wipe it properly, and now when they turned it on, it connected back to the account after it was removed from the account, and now they can see all the other cameras that are on the account. You know, so I see stuff like that happening. But with the cheaper products, you always, you know, always hear, but you hear sometimes about people like not say hacking them, but just, you know, they know the default IP address of the device is this. So when they get on the network, they're just like, I wonder if this is cool. And they open up the app and put it in there and then put the port in, and all of a sudden they have access to it. You know.
Tell you what's funny, the question you went back, where do I think Google's going? I've always looked at, most recently, I've always looked at Google Chrome as a container for Google services. So look at Chrome OS, which is literally Google Chrome sitting on bare metal. And of course, there's Linux kernel and everything on the back end. But I'm looking at Chrome now. I think there's going to come a time where you're going to launch Chrome on any machine, like Google does today, and it's actually going to look like just Chrome OS. That's where I think they're going. And that's one thing I do like about Android, it's mobility. Because I'm sure, and again, I've been out of iOS for a while, I'm sure I can log into your computer and log into iTunes and maybe sync and do whatever I got to do with my account, right? I don't know if there's any other difficulties around that or what, but you have that with Google and all the other services coming with it, all the Google Drive and everything that's Google associated is just one Chrome login.
How much is Google Drive?
How much?
Different sizes.
Oh man, I don't know. I think I'm doing 99 cents a month for 100 gigs, something like that. It's ridiculous. It's stupid cheap. It's dumb cheap.
I don't like that.
Matter of fact, as we sit here, I can look up the.
I don't like that price.
Let's see. We're gonna find out now exactly how much these.
Because I think I have. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm paying Apple. Oh, I'm not paying Apple anything. I have the free 5 gigabytes because what I'm doing is I'm backing up my device. The kids are backing up their devices to the 5 gigabytes, and then we all back up all of our pictures to Google Photos.
I'm sorry, it's $1.99 a month for 100 gigs, $2.99 a month for 200, $10 a month for 2 terabytes. And you can do $300 a month for $300 a month for 30 terabytes.
Who needs that?
God. Yeah.
Business. Guys on the back of the world.
Yeah.
The back of the world.
I think my game might be high again. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Still trying to work on this audio, but I think we'll get it though. But yeah, man, I am having this inner debate with myself. I want to just go ahead and, do I want to jump into the iOS thing or do I want to stick with Android? But I'm kind of still I'm biased towards Android for two reasons. For two reasons right now. Again, because of the mobility, and I already have it. Because think about the cost associated with flipping back over, and then next year I'm like, so here comes the Pixel 5.
How about this? So your house is mostly Google. My house is mostly Apple. Most of the products that I'm using are compatible with Google.
So we're gonna switch families. Not trading spouses, trading technology.
Trading technology. That'd be a good reality show.
Trading technology.
Trading technologies.
Yep.
So I'm going to get an Android phone. How about you have a MacBook? I have a MacBook. Maybe just get an iPhone, whatever iPhone it is. You know, whether you get an X or a 10s or you go with the 11 or whatever. And just have that.
Yep.
And I'm 1,000% sure that after you put on Google Drive, Google Docs, all the Google apps on that phone, there's probably not going to be much you miss about the Android ecosystem.
Yep.
But you get to enjoy the best of both worlds.
Yep.
And so that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this is going to happen on my part is I'm going to move to Android. I'm going to start moving things to Drive. I'm going to start using... I use like Todoist. A lot of my apps that I use are Android apps too.
Right.
So I'm not really concerned about like losing some of my productivity apps that I use. But I'm thinking that once I move to Android and I start using like Drive and maybe even Docs a little bit, and maybe some other apps that are cross-platform as well. When I go back to iOS, when the new iPhone comes out, or they come out with a folding iPhone or whatever they do,
right?
Maybe even an iPad. It would be less. I would be less likely to dip back into like using iCloud or using some things like that, because there's a lot of like this. The iOS apps, the iOS apps that Google has put out have been very well created. Like they're very nice. They follow the Apple scheme, UI scheme. So it's not like you're really missing out too much. There's certain things that bother me is maybe like the family calendar stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get I think I'm gonna have to get my wife to download Fantastical or something like that, so that we can have joint iCloud, Gmail, and my work and her work calendar, like kind of like all showing up.
I got you.
Fantastical pulls everything in, but I don't even know if there's an Android version of that. I don't know.
I know we just like today we have one calendar, which is pretty much the Derrickson's calendar, and then we have our own individual personal calendars, and then I got work calendar, and I just share everything. We just share as needed, and we can see everything on one pane of glass.
So you have do you have a family Gmail account?
Not a family Gmail account.
So you have a family calendar, and then both of you guys use your G calendar, your Google account. Does she have a note as well?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So she has a note. So you guys have your own Gmail calendars, and then you just have a family account, and then
not even a family account.
I'm sorry,
we just have a family calendar. Yeah.
And
we
then,
both can.
So what happens? So if you put an event on your calendar, are you picking family as the calendar? If
it's a family thing, I just select the Derrickson calendar.
Right.
Yeah, I select Derrickson, and then I can just duplicate it over to whatever I want at that if needed. Duplicate it to my account or hers.
Okay, so that's what we do for Apple. Yep. Same setup. We have I have my account, I have hers, and she has hers, and then we put it on the family thing. Yep. The beauty with that is that because we're all under the same family thing, it also shows up on the kids' iPads.
Right.
And they actually use it. Like they actually see it pop up. Like there's certain times when something will pop up and my daughter will be like, are we going this place? I'm like, yeah, we're going.
You seen it.
Yeah, you seen it.
You seen it.
You seen it. But the whole like calendar thing, there's certain things I'm worried about, trying to make Android work with everybody else. Again, the other thing is not necessarily iMessage, but FaceTime. That's a big deal. See,
that's what's going to tear your ass up when it comes to Android, because you got Duo, which is amazing as far as voice chat is concerned, or as far as video chat is concerned, but Now we going down that rabbit hole of SMS and encrypted messages. Like you can hang all that shit up. Everything is going to be SMS for Android native until you download another app, aka Signal. There you go. You're going to have to deal with that.
The fact that Android still uses SMS is literally like making me sick, bro. I don't get that. I'm not downloading this Duo. Did they shut down Allo?
Allo's gone. I don't understand why that went away. No, let me. I'm going to go back even further. I don't understand why they're trying to wrap Hangouts into G Suite. Because Hangouts has Google Voice integration.
Mm-hmm. And they shut down SMS on Google Voice too.
See?
Because there was no way to stop spam calls.
That's why I'm afraid of Stadia. Because I don't know how long Google's going to invest into that. That's my biggest concern. And the thing is, I will give it up to those that bring that up. We know Google's track record when it comes to their products. And you go out in Stadia and you invest in a whole bunch of digital content, and then Google says, yeah, we're sunsetting Stadia, blah, 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 blah. What happens to that content?
That you purchase?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's gone.
Man,
right?
If I purchase some digital games and in like 3 years they'd be like, nah, Stadia's gone, I'll be upset.
I'm good. Yeah.
I'll be upset.
Like, what if the Dreamcast did digital titles?
Dreamcast. You remember Sega Channel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was ahead of its time.
I actually think that's the first time I ever played Comic Zone.
Man, I don't even remember that game.
You should. It's on the plate.
So if y'all don't remember Sega Channel, Sega Channel was like Sega Genesis, but you ran like a coaxial cable to it. Mm-hmm. It sounds fake, but I'm thinking about it. You ran a coaxial cable to it, and you paid like a monthly subscription. I can't remember how much it was, but it was pretty expensive for back then. Like it was like a lot. Like it might have been like 40 or to like 60 bucks a month.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but it was somewhere around there. And you just had access to all the games.
Yeah.
On demand, you just played it.
That was the first. I wouldn't even say gaming as a service because there wasn't content drip, but it was the first subscription service type gaming that I know of, that I can remember. Yeah. Yeah, man. Sega was ahead of their time, bruh. They were ahead of their time, and they were the first to go.
That's why when stuff comes out, I'm like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Like look, I'm 30. I see stuff like Stadia, and I'm like, Sega Channel.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Look at VMUs. Remember the Dreamcast memory cards? Man, that was amazing. Where certain games, when you save to it, it may have its own like mini game built into it. It's crazy, man.
I used to have the mini games that you would play during timeouts on NBA 2K.
Yeah, man. Yep.
And what was the other thing you had too? Sonic Adventure. Yep. You had the little virtual pets.
Yep.
I remember losing the cap. I remember losing the cap to my VMU.
Yeah, the little piece you just pull off the top. Yep.
I remember losing that cap, and I was so upset.
Yeah, man.
That controller had 2 slots. It had the Tremble pack. That's a Nintendo 64 term.
For which one?
The Rumble pack. It had the
Rumble. Yeah, the Rumble pack. Yep. See, that's another thing. Rumble's been out forever.
It's built in,
or some derivative of it. Yeah, it's built in now. It's built in, man. It's crazy.
We're gonna add Rumble to your controller. And you're like, what?
I can feel where my car lands. in a dirt rally. Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
Technology has gone a long way, man. A long way, bro.
Oh, man. So yeah, switching over, we'll figure out what we're gonna do. I know I'm gonna do the note thing. I'm gonna see how that works out. You got like until September really to decide about the iPhone, or are you gonna get the new one, or you gonna actually got what? The Pixel might come out by October.
October, yeah. I'm thinking about what I've been looking at is the Pixel 4 XL, assuming they're going to be one, and then looking at the Fossil Gen 5. Because my understanding right now, that and the TicWatch Pro are probably the best Wear OS watches now.
The TicWatch Pro?
I believe it's the TicWatch. The TicWatch? Yeah.
I'm going to look that one up because...
the TicWatch.
The TicWatch Pro.
TicWatch. Is that it?
It's for the CTIC.
Yep. But again, fragmentation. Because
I don't like it. I'm just saying.
So like the Fossil has like the battery save mode and it does the monochrome switch to save battery. The TicWatch and the Fossil Gen 5.
So how do you find out about this one?
This watch?
Oh, it has Google Pay.
Yeah, 9 to 5 Google. Yeah, man. Wear OS is not. It's. I would still say it's in its infancy, almost its startup phase, but it is what it is, man.
Makes me mad.
It's hot as hell in this man's office.
You said the Fossil, right?
Fossil Gen 5. Yep.
Fossil Gen 5.
Yep. What we need to do is while we're searching for this stuff, we need to figure out a way to get that on the screen. Going forward, we need to record those searches so you can get it in the video so people can see what we're looking at. Yep, Fossil Gen 5. If there's any smartwatch, that's going to be my next one. Matt's going to try to record this to make sure we can get this in the video somehow. Or we need an engineer. Anybody who wants to be an engineer for free, holla at us. Maybe you can ride this wave. You looking at that one too? This watch?
Nah, this one. I'm about to record the screen real quick so I can.
Screen record, baby. I know I'm saying that we're going to try to get this on the screen, but I think by the time this is edited, this will be on the screen. So as of right now, as I watch it, it is not. Huh?
We're just gonna edit all this stuff out.
Yeah, we edit all that.
I'm recording the screen. That's what I'm gonna record. I'm gonna start recording. All right, so this is the Fossil Gen 5.
Fossil Gen 5, yep. Mm-hmm.
I saw some of the Fossils before, and they look pretty good.
They look good. They look like Fossil, what you would expect from Fossil.
And see, I'm indifferent because for $295, I'd just rather have a regular watch. When I'm looking at this, like for example,
yeah.
I'd rather have some minimal, regular watch and then get a Fitbit. Because
I got you.
Because this is not going to do everything I want well. It's just going to do everything I want.
Not if you're coming from the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
No Wear OS watch is continuity and all that stuff. It's not going to be the same thing. It's just not.
Right, but I'm looking at some of these designs, some of these fashion options and these band options, and these are nice.
Yeah, man. Yep.
Nice. And then what was the other one? It was the TicWatch. Hold on.
I think it was a TicWatch. Yeah.
Let me pull that back up because I need to see.
For all you folks that work in the studio, I need to know how you guys keep your rooms cool because Matt has all these professional. I'm a model. I'm sweating. I'm sweating these cold cuts out. Huh?
See, this looks good.
The TicWatch.
Oh, did you see this right here? The Samsung Active 2. This is the one they're trying to push out with the Note.
Which is, it has the rotating bezel, but it's digital.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a review on that.
That looks good.
It looks
just don't
minimal.
want to go all in on Samsung because I feel like there's going to be certain things on this watch that I'm going to.
Well, here's one. Google Assistant doesn't work with those watches. You have to download. You have to figure out. I don't think it's just going into the Play Store and downloading the Google Assistant for that watch. There's some. They bias Bixby, obviously. That's going to be their thing. Bixby. That's the Samsung.
You don't say that. Don't say Bixby, bro.
Bixby, yeah.
That's
Bixby.
the worst.
I think I've been talking out of the right side of this microphone the whole time.
The wrong side?
The right side.
Oh.
The right. That. We'll see it in the camera.
We'll find out later. Yeah, man. I don't. There's no real options. Like I'm legit just gonna go to Amazon. I'm gonna get me like a Timex watch, a basic cloth, nail strap or something.
Keep in mind what you're getting for $295. I mean, if you think about the Apple Watch features versus the Android features, it's $295 of value for a Wear OS watch.
That's what I'm saying. Is like the fitness aspect. I'd rather get a plain Fitbit.
I got you. For that use case. Yes.
And then I'd rather get a cheaper watch, like a regular analog non-smart watch. That would give me personally a better experience than buying that's my perception now.
Right.
Now, if I get a Samsung watch and I try it out, I might like it because I like the way these look and I like the way the watch faces look. However, I don't want to deal with stuff like getting new chargers and stuff. Like that's a whole nother thing. The USB C is much easier to adapt to, or even Lightning at this point because I have so many Lightning cables. But yeah, whoop, man. I don't even know. What is talking about best?
And I'm talking about getting an Apple Watch eventually.
Man.
See, I'm watching you search for all the stuff, and I'm like, man, I just need to keep what I got. Everything is going to be based on what the Pixel 4 does.
Most stylish is the Skagen. I can't say it.
If any of you folks know a good Wear OS watch, just throw it out in the comments. We'll see where that goes. What is that one?
See, this just made me mad.
Why?
Because it's like they took the same screenshots and just laid them over the same watch.
Oh, for they took the same screenshots from the previous site and was like, hey, they use it as like a template, right? Yeah.
Smart watches.
Yeah, man.
This one looks good though. It's the Foster one. Yeah, I gotta see.
I mean, something to consider is they're all about $300 a pop. Wear OS is Wear OS. You can have all kinds of styles of watches that do the same thing.
Right.
It's just my main concern would just be performance. I don't even know how the watches perform, honestly. I have no idea. But we shall see. We shall see.
But yo, how you feeling? Is there anything else you want to talk about? We at 45 minutes. We can just talk about tech for this one.
Yeah, man. It works for me. Shoot, I really want a tablet.
Figure out how to edit all this stuff together.
Yeah, man. Stitch it all together.
But yo, thank you guys for watching and listening. However you're consuming this, we will plan on putting this on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. Sorry, any other medium we could think of. So definitely reach out to us on social media. We'll post those in the description as well as on the screen. And Devin, you got anything to say?
It's good, man. It was fun. Kind of like you said, we kind of getting it off the ground. Yeah. So those of you watching now, you with us with the you shooting. You're shooting with us in the gym, basically. Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah, this is gonna get better. This setup right now, we kind of figuring it out. We have a DSLR camera and we have a Note 9. Yeah, this Note is recording Devin, and then he has a DSLR report. Yeah, A6400. So, hey, we're just getting it in with what we have, and we'll figure out what we need later on. Yes, sir. What I'm saying? So, thank you guys for watching. This has been great. My name is Matt. Devin. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. All right. Now we gotta figure out how to stop everything at once. So that's the camera. Shit stopped. Man, I hold my camera. No, I think I'm good because I got waves all the way through. Okay.